This ex-superhero came out of retirement after watching She-Hulk. Thank you. So we start things out by seeing some guys who look like they belong in a comic book, and we're hearing a little kid tell us about these freakishly strong twins who ended up becoming sworn enemies. One is named Samaritan and the other's Nemesis. Creative. I wonder which one's the good guy and which one's the bad guy. Anyway, the twins had their house burnt by members of the village when they were young. They escaped, but their parents were left crispy in seconds. Delicious. Samaritan grew to become an advocate for justice, but Nemesis doesn't care about none of that. He wanted revenge on the entire world. But what did we all do? I know I never burnt nobody's house. Samaritan tried to get his brother to calm down, but that only made Nemesis get madder. He said, you know what? I'll destroy you too. So he created this hammer in which he poured all the hate in his heart into. Apparently, that's the only thing that can destroy Samaritan. How cheesy. Nemesis then went to the power plant to destroy everything and everybody, knowing that his good brother will pull up to save the world. And he did. Boom. A fight broke out. A really interesting comic book fight, might I add. Next thing we know, there's an explosion that causes a blackout in the entire city, and boom, both Samaritan and Nemesis have stopped living, or so everyone thinks. Anyway, next thing we see is a little boy, Sam, watching some conspiracy theory video about Samaritan still being alive when his mom walks in on him asking him for some cash for the bus. He gives it to her and she leaves, but not before she gives the instruction everybody's mom gives: take out the trash. So little Sam walks himself over to the bin, but he uses that opportunity to do some quick graffiti under the rain, because why not? I love a kid who's dedicated to his art. But while he's desecrating the sacred bin, some gray-bearded man approaches, so little Sam goes to hide. He watches the man though. The guy, Joe, drops something in the trash and picks something from there and then goes back to his place. Next morning in class, little Sam is drawing Samaritan in his book while the teacher is there. Not paying attention in class? Relatable. Except that I always got in trouble, but it seems like little Sam doesn't. While little Sam is in class, Joe, who works with the trash company, is taking something out of the trash again. Alright man, one more thing from the trash and we'll have to start calling you trash guy. You're on strike too. Back to Sam. He's back home now and the locks have been changed and there's an eviction notice on the door. Obviously little bro doesn't know about NFTs, cause why you an artist and still poor? But then again, I'm older than him and still haven't figured out what the heck an NFT is. Oh, and I'm still poor. Fair enough. Anyway, since little Sam is locked out, he sits on the stairs drawing comics and he sees Joe. He engages him in a short conversation and shortly after some guy comes and offers Sam an opportunity to make some money. I know where this is going. What's he gonna do? Say no? Of course he goes with him. So the two boys break into an abandoned house through the window and start breaking the walls. They get wires from the walls and next thing little Sam is pushing this big guy on a trolley. They arrive at this warehouse where they sell the wires for $40 each. While they're still there, a convoy of black cars pulls up and some three guys approach the boys with another business proposal. They need someone to go make a distraction somewhere. The big guy says he won't do it, but little Sam says, why not? Little bro is a hustler. I respect that. So they take Sam to a shop and ask him to distract the old man there. He goes in there with an Oscar-worthy performance, asking for help. Old man comes out to meet him, but when he finds out that it's hot sauce on his head, not blood, it's already too late. The three fellas had already taken the boxes they wanted, but as it turns out, those are actually not the boxes they want. The 6'9" looking guy tries to blame it on little Sam, but he stands his ground and they break into a little fight. It's broken up by a guy named Cyrus who now likes Sam because he's not a rat. Cyrus finds little Sam's comic drawings on the floor and figures the little boy likes Samaritan. But he, on the other hand, is a Nemesis stan. To him and his people, Nemesis was a god. So he's now trying to convert Sam into the Nemesis religion. Next thing, Cyrus gives him money for what he did today and what he will do in the future. Little man's is too young to be selling his soul. Crazy stuff. Then again, I've been grinding ever since I was 8 years old. Anyway, after a good day of hustling, little Sam heads home and gives his mom money for the rent. You just know you won't hear the last of this if Sam turns out to be a rapper. Of course, he lies to his mom about how he got the money, but mothers always know when something's up, so she asks him where he got it. Then little Sam claps back. Why didn't you ask me before you took it? Whoa, watch your mouth, little man. The question penetrated his mother's heart, and not in the fun way. Meanwhile, Cyrus and his guys get a delivery of some crazy explosives and are now unboxing. The next day, little Sam is walking down the street and the 6'9" looking guy starts chasing him, asking for the money Sam cost him. While he's running, Sam gets nearly hit by a bus that Joe is in. He escapes the bus but doesn't escape the guys. They catch up with him and are landing punches when Joe pulls up and literally just flings the two guys away like Rambo. Oh wait, he is Rambo. He deals with them and saves our boy, but 6'9" attempted one last attack with a knife, but Joe just bent the knife with his bare hands. Seeing that, little Sam starts believing that Joe is Samaritan. Immediately, he starts doing his research to connect the dots. Anyway, Cyrus and his boys, and girl, are now on their way to an operation. They're dressed like cops and they use the explosives, and boy, is that a mad thing. But they're not here for money. They literally put the money aside. They're here for Nemesis's hammer. Cyrus uses the hammer and Joe can feel it right in his bedroom. It seems little Sam is right after all. Joe really is Big Sam. Samaritan, that is. He goes to tell the guy from the conspiracy video that he found him, but of course he doesn't believe him. Can't blame him though. Apparently little Sam has come to him on numerous occasions telling him other guys were Samaritan. Sam tries to convince him it's different this time, so he buys Conspiracy Guy's book to show him how serious he is. Seeing the effort, he invites him over and you can tell Conspiracy Guy is obsessed with Big Sam. Albert is now telling him about the hammer and the entire story of Samaritan and Nemesis. His theory is that Nemesis has planned to lure Big Sam went haywire and his hatred ended up destroying him. Now it's Sam's turn to talk and he's telling Albert all about Joe. Then he showed him the knife Joe bent with his bare hands. Still not enough to convince Albert though. The man too has cultivated a very strong grip after many years of strenuous activities with that hand. So little Sam is back doing his research, which is basically watching Joe's every move through his window. Oh, I do that with my neighbors too. Oh wait, he actually goes a step further. He breaks into Joe's house through the window. Wait, no, I do that too. Guess you could say Big Guy gave him some valuable work experience. He gets in and he's in awe. Like, bro, come on. If you're going to be a criminal, be a focused one. Well, he gets himself together and looks in Joe's wardrobe where he finds some old newspaper articles about Samaritan. Oh, getting close, aren't we? Meanwhile, 6ix9ine and his boys are now following Joe, obviously trying to get back at him for the butt whooping they received earlier. They don't attack this time though. So Joe goes up to his house and finds the mess the world's worst burglar made after taking his scrapbook with him. Joe wastes no time slamming on little Sam's door to ask for his book back. He hands it over and while his mom is losing her mind, his apology is, "I'm sorry, I'm a fan." What a lad. Next day, the two meet outside and Sam was explaining that he actually wasn't going to keep the album. He just thought he was Samaritan. But Joe says Samaritan is Rip in Peace. Little Sam is still not convinced though. He asks Joe why then does he have that scrapbook, and he replies that he's just a fan like him. Anyway, the questions start getting to Joe, so he's grumbling and walking away. Little Sam then shouts, "You're a liar, I don't believe you." Just when Joe turned to reply, 6ix9ine's car gave my man a clean slide tackle. But don't worry, he's built different. He just has a few broken bones here and there. Nothing too serious. As it turns out, he doesn't even need a doctor. He's just twisting and turning and realigning all them bones. That's it. Little Sam's convinced that that's Big Sam right there. Joe goes upstairs and has the strangest shower ever. Honestly, surviving the accident didn't really convince me, but this shower right here, surely that's Samaritan. Anyway, he explains that when he's hurt, he overheats like he's a NVIDIA graphics card and needs to immediately cool down with a cold shower and freezing ice cream. If not, his heart will explode. Hold up, explode? And he's a twin? And he needs something that rhymes with tower? Whoa, conspiracy moment. Next thing, little Sam is telling Big Sam how he once saved his late dad. Later that night, Cyrus and his guys use that crazy explosive again, this time in the middle of the road. Then, Cyrus with Nemesis's hammer and mask is addressing everyone that is gathered. He's giving his "I have a dream" speech, but this one is looking more like a nightmare. Ha ha ho, kill me. But it works. By the time he's done, the crowd is wearing masks and simping for Nemesis. He's officially an influencer. Relatable, I think. However, there's one guy who's recording on a phone that looks like it was made in the 80s. Also, he's the only one recording. What century was this movie made again? Because if something like that happens right now, everyone wants to have it on their story for sure. Anyway, the next day little Sam is following Joe, but he's caught pretty easily. Joe lets him come along though. They head to some kind of pawn shop, and Sam ends up disappointed that Big Sam doesn't use his powers to finish off a guy who rudely bumped into him. Kid has no chill. He forgave that guy, but not the door. The door experiences full wrath. Reminds me of my dad punching holes in the walls after having angry juice. After that, Joe starts telling little Sam about how strong he once was, and you know, giving him stories from the past. He does that till dusk. Then when they get home, little Sam is telling Big Sam that sometimes he gets scared and the first thing on his mind is to run. I can definitely relate. Good thing the Samaritan is on our side. He says it's the smart thing to do. Street fights are for fools. At this point, the two have become friends, and Joe offers to repair Sam's broken watch. At that point in time, they call it a night. Get it? Many mornings after, Joe is watching the news and eating cereal when the newscaster mentions that a guy has been claiming to be Nemesis and is the cause of recent riots. You could tell that they really got to him with the way he cracked his cereal bowl, literally like an egg. Then he goes out and Sam is all smiles and asking him to teach him how to fight. Dude needs to learn how to read the room. Anyway, Joe agrees to teach him up on the roof, and oh, little man actually got some moves. Apparently, his dad taught him how to fight, but when he died, he was no longer able to fight. But training quickly goes wrong when little Sam punches Big Sam in the belly. He now needs ice for his fist. While his fist isn't ice, he asks Joe the big question: what happened between you and Nemesis? That quickly ruins things and Joe sends him home. Next thing, Cyrus and his crew pull up on Sam and it's time to pay what he owes. They take him to the warehouse and the lady is whitewashing Cyrus and warning Sam not to disappoint them. After that, Cyrus takes him out to resume duty, which is to whistle when he sees a cop. But little mans can't even whistle. While he's trying and failing horribly, two cops pull up in a cop car and Cyrus hands something over to them. But Sam's job isn't over. He's still on lookout duty. But does Sam do his job? Definitely not. He sneaks into the warehouse to watch what the gang is about to do to a cop who didn't agree to look the other way when they asked him to. But they didn't even have to do anything. They just threatened him with fire and he promised to leave and never come back. But just like you have seen in many Hollywood movies before, Cyrus clapped him when he was running away. Always give people hope, Cyrus says. Hey, they copied this from Black Panther. Seeing that, little Sam is terrified and shook. Why wouldn't he be? Anyway, Anyway, as he's leaving, he sees 6ix9ine and his crew beating up Big Guy, who's crying for help. He intervenes with a few punches to the guys and tells Big Guy to run, but he was beaten unconscious for his good Samaritan efforts. 6ix9ine and crew then push him in a trolley to his house and run away when they notice Joe staring from his window. Joe then takes Sam to the hospital. More interestingly, 6ix9ine, who was shocked that Joe, aka Big Samaritan, is still alive after that vehicular slide tackle the other day. He runs to the warehouse to express his shock to the crew in a lot of words. 6ix9ine being a chatterbox? Absolutely no surprises there. Of course, the guys don't believe that Big Sam is still out there, but Cyrus asks to meet him. So 5 of them pull up at his hood in disguises, and once they see him, they start following him. They finally stop him and they try to start a fight. The Samaritan is a good sport, so he warns them first. But of course, they don't listen. They never do. He claps 4 of them easily and throws one into traffic. Oh, now you all pull out your phones. Great. Anyway, a little girl who watched it all go down is now asking Samaritan some questions. But while he's talking to her, the last one of the crew came and threw that crazy explosive. Fortunately, Big Sam recognized it quickly and saved himself and the little girl, using a car as a shield. Hopefully insurance pays for that. He quickly flees the scene as the cops were pulling up, and now he's home packing his bags to skip town. He's all over the news now and he doesn't like all that clout. He's just like me, for real. Only difference is I don't have clout. But while he's packing up, little Sam knocks at the door. He's now telling Joe about what Cyrus is planning with the power station. The little boy's trying to get Joe to help, but he says he can't. For the second time, Sam is disappointed. He tells him, "You're just as bad as everyone else," and he walks away. He didn't even turn back when Joe called out to him. Over at Cyrus's warehouse, they're watching the news too, and the whole Samaritan is back thing is really pissing Cyrus off. So he takes the hammer and smashes the TV while screaming, "Hammer time!" Next thing, they pull up in their convoy to the Samaritan's house to take him out. He's not home, but they don't care. They spray the entire house with bullets from their revolvers, and while they're doing that, Cyrus sights Sam and his mom from the window and asks his crew to go get them. Sam and his mom run up to the roof where the gang traps them. They tear the mother away from her son and take Sam away, but not before little bro landed a punch on 6ix9ine's face. Pog. While he's being taken away, little Sam is still confident that Big Sam will come for him. Meanwhile, Big Sam is at the bus station ready to skip town and return to being just Joe. But Sam's watch, which he repaired, remember, beeps, and that was the come to Jesus moment for Samaritan. He leaves the station and went straight to little Sam's house where he meets the boy's mom, who told him everything. That was it. Big Sam goes to get his truck and is driving straight to Cyrus with fire in his eyes. Many men are shooting at him from all directions, but my man is 50 Cent up in here. He's taking the bullets and clapping these guys left and right. Cyrus finally comes out and Big Sam says he's just there for the kid. He tells him to let Sam go and they could battle it out as men, but Cyrus insists he wants the kid to watch his hero fall. Big mistake. It doesn't start out well though. Big Sam takes 3 whacks of the hammer to the head, but when the 4th one was about to land, he holds the hammer and we find out that Big Sam is actually not Samaritan. He's Nemesis. I'm gonna be real with you guys, I did not see that one coming. So this means he actually killed his own brother the same way Scar clapped Mufasa. Disney moment. But I thought you guys were all rooting for Nemesis. Why do you still want to kill him? Humans are confusing, you know, but the thing is, now that Nemesis is with his weapon, he's a different animal. Anyway, Cyrus is absolutely losing his mind right now, just like me. He takes little Sam and chains him to a pole somewhere. That's a bit sussy. After he does that, he asks for the city to be wiped dark. So a Nemesis wannabe wants to take on the real Nemesis? Sounds really brilliant if you ask me. At this point, Nemesis is running through walls. He seems a little tired, but a tired Nemesis is still clapping these beta males. Oh, and here comes my favorite part of the movie. He uses this guy's own explosive on him and tells him, wait for it, have a blast. Chills. That was truly one of the lines of all time. Anyway, little Sam is still chained in a room that is now burning while his mom is all the way down looking for him. Nemesis comes to get him, and when he drops his hammer to go retrieve the little boy, Cyrus picks it up and starts beating him up again. At this point, Nemesis's heart is doing that thing where it feels like it's about to explode. He, however, gets back up to fight but is very nearly thrown off the roof, hanging only by his fingertips. The same way I'm barely hanging on to happiness right now. Sorry, that was too real. Little Sam shakes himself free and tries to be a hero by hitting Cyrus on the back with a pole, but he's easily thrown to the floor. Nemesis then finds his vintage strength, wraps the hammer around Cyrus, picks him up, and throws him into the burning mess. All that took him back to the moment when he did something similar to his own brother. You know, the real Big Sam. After destroying everything and everybody, Nemesis needed Sam to burst a pipe for him to live. He then picks Sam up and literally flies into another building in a way Vin Diesel will be very proud of. Finally, Sam confronts Nemesis, telling him he can change and be a good guy now. But Nemesis basically tells him everybody is capable of good and evil. We all just have to choose. Then poof, he disappears, leaving Sam awestruck. Sam is then reunited with his mother, but he's something of a little celebrity now. Cameras and mics all in his face, and boy is he loving it. Meanwhile, Albert is somewhere in the background telling him he was right all along. Too late now, you clout chaser. Anyway, little Sam's watch beeps. He lifts his head and looks into the crowd, sees Joe, gives him a smile and a nod, and then walks away. Moral of the story? Hammer time. Also guys, we're almost at 1 million subs. It's almost the end of the year. I'm gonna have to start begging until we get there, so you can expect that from now on.